Hiya. I want to do this audio recording because I want to talk about my hospital admission that took place in December 2014. I usually shove aside this memory because of it being so traumatic, but I do know that talking about a memory or something traumatic, it activates certain departments in the brain which can help take the emotional charge out of the experience. I was taken into hospital because of a severe ME crash where I became so weak I could barely move and I couldn't swallow. My chest felt like it was on fire and I was on antibiotics for a chest infection, which has since turned out to be hay fever. I was taken into the acute unit where I was assessed, and I had x-rays, one at midnight. My bowel was impacted, so that had to be sorted out, and they could find nothing wrong with my chest. They couldn't see anything at all, so I was told it's most likely to be a viral infection. But like I said, I know now it was hay fever. I was told I would have to be put on a feeding tube and a catheter, but in the end that was decided against because of risk of infection. In the end I was put on a drip and taken to another department. The staff on the whole were lovely and really nice, but there weren't enough of them. So several times I went without meals because there was nobody to spoon feed me. And several times I went without pain relief because I was often forgotten, or they just didn't get round to it when I asked. I also went without fluids after I came off the drip because there was no one to give me a drink. And like I said, the staff were lovely, but several of the nurses had never heard of ME. And one of the doctors who was seeing to me, she said she believed in ME in some cases, but other cases she felt that it was all in the mind. I think I saw about 4 doctors in the end, but they were all pretty baffled at the state of my ME and the weakness. They didn't really know what to do with me. They wanted to refer me to a rheumatologist, but then the rheumatologist said that she didn't deal with ME patients. I was in such a weakened state that even one of the nurses was crying, and she said she was going to get her children to pray for me that evening. I was moved again and put in the ward for elderly, and in all I think I spent 4 days in there. They wanted me to stay in longer, another 3 days, but I refused because I was just having no sleep. The lights wouldn't be turned off till about 11, and the noise of the other patients and the noise of the staff was horrendous. There were patients with dementia that screamed all night and chattered away, and even though I had eye mask on and earplugs, it was an absolute onslaught to my nervous system, which is really in overload anyway because that's what ME does. I was actually told I'd been put on the noisiest ward in the hospital and the busiest, and it was horrendous. Hospital is not a place to get well in, I can tell you. In fact, in the end, the doctors decided I would be better off at home. Although the nurses couldn't believe the decision to send me home because I was so weak. I couldn't sit up or anything. I couldn't do anything for myself, but that's what happened. So got sent home. Getting me in and out of the house was a nightmare because of the severe state I was in. But I think the worst thing about the whole experience was the doctors telling me when I was in a state of paralysis that there was nothing they could do for me. And that was absolutely terrible, devastating. Anyway, I'm home now, and hopefully I won't be going in hospital again for some time. So if you've listened to all this, thank you and bye.